Hello, Pokemon trainers. Welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video here on iStarly TV. Today I'm actually going to be doing my first Battle Stadium battles in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm really excited to do this, and I've been waiting, for a long time to do this. I finally have enough competitive Pokemon to try to make a team and do some battling. So I'm going to start with Battle Stadium singles, which is usually what I play. And maybe I'll try some VGC at some point or some doubles, which I know is the more official format. But I enjoy Battle Stadium singles, and I've enjoyed it since probably Gen 5, I think. But either way, let's go ahead and take a look at the team I built. I built this team on Pokemon Showdown, and I was testing it, and it ended up being pretty solid. And by the way, I was... Oh, no! Oops. I got my shiny Cyclizar from a mass outbreak, and I used the... shiny hunting mass outbreak picnic method that I made a video about. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check it out. But look how awesome this is. So this is choice banded, but the main goal with it is it has its hidden ability Regenerator, which heals it by a third of its health when it switches out. And it has the unique move Shed Tail, which is a new move where it makes a substitute for half of its health and then switches into one of your Pokemon, and that Pokemon retains the substitute. So it can basically give a free switch into one of my Pokemon, which is really good. And so that's the main reason I'm using Cyclizar. U-Turn is also good if I want to switch into something else and get off some damage. And then I have Dragon Claw and Knock Off. Obviously, Dragon Claw is good stab, and then Knock Off was just a secondary move that I thought would be decent. And I'm trying out Choice Band because basically the whole point with my Cyclizar is not to like sweep or anything. It's really just to, get initiative and switch into my other Pokemon, get momentum and stuff. Then I have Goldango, which is proving to be just one of the best Pokemon in this generation, both for doubles and singles. It's just such a strong Pokemon, and it has a Terra Steel type, which I like, and it's a Choice Scarf with Trick, and then I'm running max special attack and max speed. Oops, sorry, I kicked my microphone. And basically the main goal here is to get off a lot of damage with Shadow Ball and make it rain. And if I switch into a more bulky Pokemon, I can trick them my Choice Scarf and then set up nasty plots, which has been a strategy that's actually done really well for me when I was testing with this team. So good stuff. Then I have Annihilate, who actually I want to change that Terra type. I'm going to try it with Terra type fighting for now. I've been trying flying just to I heard that Dundazo with Fissure is decently common. And so maybe as I get higher in the ranks, I'll make sure to switch to a flying Terra type. But for right now, fighting is probably fine. It also removes the ghost type weakness, so maybe that'll help. And I'm running max HP and max special defense and a careful nature because my goal with this one is to set up bulk ups to boost my defense and then, just spam Drain Punch to kill stuff. It's been decently successful for me as well. Then I have Garganacl, which is another Pokemon that's pretty good in this generation, and I'm also running max HP and max special defense on it, and I'm running the Iron Defense Body Press set, which is a set that I really liked on Corviknight in Gen 8, and I imagine it's going to be really good on Garganacl as well. Then I have Mimikyu here, which, I don't know if this needs too much explanation. It's a pretty standard Mimikyu set for single battles. Mimikyu has been just one of the best Pokemon in single battles since it was introduced in Gen 7. So, it's tried and true. I really didn't know, I really didn't know who to put for the last two members of my team. And honestly, these last two Pokemon I use probably the least on this team, but Mimikyu's just a great Pokemon, like I said, so you kind of can't go wrong with it. It's max attack, max speed, Swords Dance, and a few moves that are just really good on it, so good stuff. And then finally, I have Skeledirge, which I was a Skeledirge doubter at first, but this has turned me into a Skeledirge believer with Unaware. You ignore boosts of Pokemon. And the last two members of my team, like I said, Mimikyu and now Skeledirge, I originally had Rotom Wash. The last two members, like I said, I just didn't really know what to do with them. And one Pokemon that was giving me a lot of trouble in testing this team was actually Volcarona, which if they set up a few Quiver Dances, I just almost cannot beat them, especially because a lot of them are Terra Grass, which means they could be a grass type, which means my Salt Cure doesn't do that much damage to them, and they could just destroy me with like a Giga Drain or something like that. So basically, Skeledirge is like one of the perfect counters to Volcarona because, I ignore all of its Quiver Dance boosts, and then I can spam Torch Song and get off some damage, but also boost my special attack. So, and then I have Shadow Ball and Snarl. Snarl lowers special attack, so that could also be decent against Volcarona, and then Slack Off. I wanted to give it Yawn, but I didn't realize that in order to get Yawn on your Skeletor, you actually have to let your Crocolore learn it like at level like 15 or 17 or something. And if you don't do that, you can't get Yawn on your Skeletor. So maybe if I really want Yawn, I'll have to breed another one and just do that. But for right now, I figured, I don't know if I really need Yawn. But let's go ahead and get into some battles. All right, so looks pretty similar to last season. This is my first time opening the battle stadium in Scarlet and Violet. We're gonna do single battles here, and this is gonna be like a little bit of a road to master rank, so series. So I'm gonna do a series with a lot of different battles and try to, you know, try out a lot of new Pokemon as well. There's a few other new Pokemon that I really want to try out that I'm excited for, but this team right now looks pretty exciting to me, so I'm looking forward to this. And I'm worried, I'm honestly a little bit worried about this first video because these are my literal first battles, like I said, and like you can see there. So sometimes when you start out in the lowest rank, you go up against people who like don't have EVs on their team, like effort values, and like, you know, don't have competitive Pokemon basically. So I'm kind of worried if that's going to be the case, but we're going to try it out and see how it goes. All right, so my opponent's team looks decently competitive. I mean, they have a lot of strong Pokemon, so I'm assuming they're decently competitive. They have a lot of dragon types too, so this is actually kind of scary. I think Garganacle's pretty good here. They have a lot of physical attackers, so if I can get off an Iron Defense, that can be good. I forgot to mention also that my Garganacle is Terra Ghost, so I can kind of take off the ground type weakness. Aside from that, Goldengo's also pretty decent because it can, with the Choice Scarf, it can be faster than a lot of their team. I think, well, I also like Mimikyu though. I think I'm going to actually go Cyclizar, Garganacle, and Mimikyu. And just go from there. Cyclizar, we're gonna try it out. Like I said, its main purpose is to kind of get momentum on my other Pokemon. Mimikyu also looked good. Again, my opponent has a lot of dragon types, and with Goldengo, I just kind of figured like, I don't know, like I was kind of scared to bring Goldengo, but maybe I should have. I don't know. Either way, they lead with Baxcalibur, who's in the floor, and I lead with my beautiful shiny Cyclizar. And obviously they're going to probably want to go for a dragon type move right away. So I think I just want to switch maybe get a free switch into Garganacle. Cyclizar Mimikyu is actually a really strong combo though, because, you know, we get Mimikyu in on a sub and then they can't break the sub. Or if they break the sub, I still have Disguise. I think I still just want to go into Garganacle though. I'm trying to think if my opponent could have anything that could like really do some good damage to me early, but I don't think so. So I'm going into Garganacle, and I'm in that sub, which is great. Sure, there's a good chance they could break this, but it gets in my Garganacle for free. So I'm pretty sure Baxcalibur learns Earthquake, so they could have that. I'm just going to go for the Iron Defense here. I mean, I might just play like really badly this game because this is my first battle of the season, even though I tested out on Pokemon Showdown. But I recognize that like testing on Showdown is so different from actually playing these battles in game. But either way, let's see what happens here. They Terra into Ice, which is good to know, and that's actually good for me because my body presses will be super effective still. Let's see what they go for though. They go for Icicle Crash again, so hopefully I do not flinch. If I flinch here, that's going to be awful for me. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. And that does trigger my Berry, which is great. Now, if I can get off this Iron Defense, I'm going to be in really solid shape. If I flinch, though, I might just lose this battle. Okay, perfect. That's great. That's great. So now I'm at boosted defense. Now I'm just going to spam Recover, at least until I can get a Recover off, just so I'm at full health. And they're going for Icicle Crash, which is doing some pretty good damage, you know, to be fair. But there's also a chance it can miss. So if they ever miss, then I'm just going to be in great shape. But also there's a chance that it can make me flinch, as I've talked about, which is terrifying. So I think I can take 2 of these without dying. So let's see. Yeah, I can take 2 of these. If I get off the recovery here, I'm going to be in just perfect shape. Yeah, there we go. I guess I just go for a Iron Defense again, which is pretty greedy because in all honesty, like if they have Sylveon in the back, that thing can actually really scare my Garganacl. Although I am max HP, max special defense, so I could probably take like a Choice Specs Hyper Voice from Sylveon pretty decently, but unfortunately for my opponent, they do miss the Icicle Crash there, and I get off the second Iron Defense. I'm just gonna go Body Press here. I'm not gonna mess around too much. I'm not sure Body Press will kill at this point, but it might, honestly. Let's see, this is not going to do a lot of damage at all. And if they don't flinch, then they're just going to be in big trouble. Yeah, this does 40 damage about. I do flinch here, though. So now I'm just going to Iron Defense and then recover. Terra Blast. Oh, Terra Ice. I guess they just want reliable damage here. Terra Blast is going to be about the same power as Icicle Crash. I think a little bit less power, but also it has 100% accuracy, obviously. So I guess I could see why they went for that. But at this point, I'm just going to recover now, and they are just almost not going to be able to touch me. If they do go into Sylveon, I can just go Salt Cure. Now, the funny thing about them going into Sylveon is it will resist Body Press, so I'm actually not quite out of the woods just yet. So I'm terrified of Sylveon, but basically all the other Pokemon on their team I'm just not afraid of at all because I'm at +6 defense now. So my Body Presses are going to be maximum boosted. Here I go for the recover. They do get another flinch there, which is really annoying, but you know, it is what it is, right? That's how the battle goes. They're just spamming their Icicle Crash. It is pretty interesting though that they went Terra Ice on Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur is a strong Pokemon, don't get me wrong. I like it. It's actually a really good Pokemon. I guess I just Body Press here. I wanted to just go recover again, but I think I just want to get this thing down as quickly as possible. They go for Glaive Rush, which actually, unfortunately for them, does nothing. And that's going to let me, I think, kill them with Body Press because I think what Glaive Rush does is it's a really, really strong move, but it makes opponents' moves do like double damage on the next turn or something like that, if I'm reading that correctly. Which means that, you know, there was no way my Body Press was not going to knock them out. Now I'm at near full health, and I'm at +6 defense, and I'm just like really just ready to go. They go into a shiny Garchomp, which is pretty cool. I think what I'm going to do here is just Terrasilize into Ghost and just go Body Press again. I'm Terrasilizing here just because if they go for the ground type move, I will, you know, not take super effective damage from it, even though, you know, maybe I should have been smarter there though, because, you know, I'm at +6 defense. If they went for the Earthquake, I'm probably living it anyway, but I'm just being extra safe here and just kind of guaranteeing that my Garganacl kind of like, you know, survives anything. So they go for the Earthquake. Let's see how little it does. It just does, it does like 19 damage to me, and then I'm able to take them down to presumably a Sash there, but it's actually not. I'm just gonna go for the Salt Cure here. I guess I'm also surprised that they don't have Rough Skin, but like I said, this is my first battle. Usually the first opponents you face a lot of the time in these lower ranks, like, don't have the most competitive teams. So that's not a knock against them. I understand people are probably just trying this out for the first time, so that's probably partly what it could be. But they go for the Earthquake there. Again, it does nothing, and I probably kill them here with the Salt Cure. And then they're going to go into their last one. If it is Sylveon, I'm going to be a little more scared, but I think I can be okay against Sylveon. What would I do in that case? Maybe I would go, if they knock me out with Sylveon, maybe I go into Cyclizar, go for the knockoff just to... I don't know, actually, but either way, their last one is actually Revavroom, a shiny Revavroom, which is really cool. And I think this is a physical attacker above all else, so basically I can just go Body Press. And even if it's not a physical attacker, I don't think they're going to have too many moves that are going to easily destroy me, because as cool as Revavroom is, it's not like the strongest Pokemon out there, so yeah. Spin Out. I honestly do not know what that does. Is it like Rapid Spin? Oh, okay. Maybe it's probably like a really powerful move, but it lowers your speed, I'm going to guess. But either way, it doesn't matter. I'm able to knock off their awesome shiny Revavroom, and that is going to be a victory with our first battle here. So that was a lot of fun. I guess I can just do a second battle here since, you know, maybe try to showcase more of the team or something. So let's go to another one. All right, we got our second battle here, and this definitely looks like a competitive team. Their team is scary. Their team is absolutely terrifying. They have Skeleturge, they have presumably Protean Meowscarada, which is pretty good. They have Scizor, which is pretty good, but also I imagine their Scizor probably has a good Terra type to round out its weaknesses. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do. They also have Cyclizar, who I believe has Unaware as a hidden ability, which is a pretty annoying and pretty scary ability to go up against. So I don't really know what to do here. I gotta plan out how I'm going to defeat that Cyclizar. I think Gholdengo looks really good here. It's good against almost all of their Pokemon. I actually don't know if I love Cyclizar here, because I'd be leading with it. I mean, it is faster than almost everything except Meowscarada, and I guess Gholdengo if that's not Scarfed. I also feel like Mimikyu is pretty decent here, but then they also have a lot of scary Pokemon against Mimikyu. I like Garganacl, but with two Pokemon that can have Unaware, that's not great for me. Like, Garganacl just can't really do anything against Cyclizar. Then we have Annihilate, who can, like, taunt Cyclizar. And then they have Volcarona. I think what I'm doing here, I'm going to start with Gholdengo. I don't even know if this is right. Now, the awful thing here is I actually choose 3 ghost types. I was kind of running out of time there. I choose 3 ghost types here, which could be awful if they have, like, Meowscarada. But I felt like these 3 are maybe the ones that have the best matchup against what my opponent's trying to do here. So we're going to see how this goes. Wish me luck. I'm scared. This team is so much scarier than the previous opponent. All right, let's see what they lead with here. I'm leading with Gholdengo, which is Choice Scarf, so I can at least get a decent upper hand against most everything they go for. And they lead with Volcarona, so I'm just going to pull a hard switch right into Skeleturge, because Skeleturge almost just doesn't really care about Volcarona. If they pull a switch eventually into Meowscarada, I think what I might be forced to do with Skeleturge is Terra into my Fire type. Just to not take too much damage from like the Night Slash or something, but I'm just thinking ahead here. We'll see what happens here. I think they might be switching too. Maybe they're looking at their team to see what they can switch into, because maybe they know that, or I mean, maybe they're thinking that Gholdengo is not a good matchup, but I think Gholdengo is a good matchup for their Volcarona. I don't know. Either way, we're going to Skeleturge, who the main purpose of it is to take on Volcaronas, and they go for the Fiery Dance, which I don't think is going to do that much, and they are going to get a special attack boost, but given Unaware, it's actually not going to really matter here. I'm going to go for Torch Song just to kind of scout what they do and scout how much damage it's going to do. And I do have Slack Off, I do have a Wiki Berry, so I'm not really worried about Skeleturge dying to this Volcarona. And if I can get a special attack boost pretty early here, that's going to be pretty nice. One big question about Skeleturge is like what Terra type to give it. Currently I have Fire, which is kind of like the default on it. And it's pretty good. I like removing the ghost type defensively, but I've also seen people talk about like going fairy type or other stuff like that. Okay, so they do go into Cyclizar, which is probably like the worst case scenario for me, because again, yeah, and they have leftovers. Okay, yeah, this is not great. And I also am weak to ground. This is a bad situation all around for me. I'm weak to ground, which means that, you know, they're probably going to go for like Earthquake here. And I wanted to switch into Gholdengo to go for the trick here, but this is not great for me because I'm likely going to take an Earthquake here. But I kind of think that's just my best bet. I really don't have an answer to this Cyclizar. They go for the Stealth Rock here. I'm just going to go for the trick, although they do have Black Sludge. So that's actually a nice little counter for trick, actually. Wow, yeah, this is actually really scary right away. I'm just going to Terrastallize now then. Try to get off as much damage as possible with Make It Rain. You know, an interesting question is, because Make It Rain will lower my special attack by 1. One interesting question I have that I should probably know the answer to this, but does Unaware basically negate my special attack drop? But either way, let's see what this does. It's probably not going to kill it, and oh my god, yeah, that is like nothing. They're probably especially bulky, and I'm just in big trouble here, actually. If Unaware works the way I want it to, I don't think it's worth it to lose my Gholdengo just yet, but I can't really switch. Okay, we're going to see what happens here. This might be like the worst situation possible for me. All right, they switch out, which is actually kind of good for me. and they go into their own Skeleturge. Wow, okay, so this is actually really bad for me because once again, I have so many ghost types on my team. Wow, that does a lot of damage though. All right, well, I definitely cannot stay in, and we saw that Goldengo is actually a decent check for their Clodsire, so I kind of need that for later. I'm going to go into my own Skeleturge. They might predict this and go for the Shadow Ball. If they do, that's awful for me, and I mean, there's nothing else I can really do in that case. They go for the Torch Song, which is just fine for me because I have Unaware. So I'm just going to start by going for Slack Off. Do I trigger my Wiki Berry? No, I don't. Okay. I just got to go for Slack Off here. And, okay, I'm faster, which is really good to know. I guess it could be a Speed Tie. I think I might have given my Skeleturge 4 Speed EVs, but we're going to see here. I'm kind of worried they're going to go into Clodsire here, but I don't think I can afford to make a prediction because if they just stay in and go for, like, a move, then my Goldango's dead, and I don't think I can win at that point. So they go for Hex here, which does a lot of damage. Yeah. I do have Shadow Ball. I think I just have to go Shadow Ball here, get off as much damage as possible. They're probably going to have a berry as well, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I have to do this. Do I eat? Yeah, I get their berry. Damn. All right, well, I think Mimikyu might be able to come in and finish this off, and I'm going to die here, which I kind of just have to let happen. Yeah, and then I just go into Mimikyu now and probably go Shadow Claw. And of course, the Unaware on their Clodsire is going to mean that, presumably they have Unaware, it's going to mean that even if I Swords Dance, it's just not going to matter. And actually, something that's happened here is now their Volcarona is kind of clean to, like, sweep me, just finish the game. So yeah, this is just really bad for me. I guess I have to hope for like a critical hit on Clodsire, or just hope that my Shadow Claw just does enough damage to it to knock it out. Because it is decently low. It's like in yellow. I guess if they go into Volcarona here, I can start setting up Swords Dances because I'll be behind Disguise. But then they can just break my Disguise if I do that. And then, yeah. So this is not a good situation for me. But we're going to see what happens here. Go into Volcarona again, and like I said, I just felt like my best move here was to just go for the Shadow Claw, and I was afraid again that they would start setting up, and they do actually Terrastalize here, which is not something I am excited about because, you know, I mean, usually Volcarona Terrastalizes into a grass type, and as you can see, that's what they do here. So that's fine for me because I'm still doing neutral damage. My Shadow Claw does less than half, and then of course I get Life Orb damage there. They go for the Giga Drain, which of course is now stab for them because of their Terrastalize. But because I have my Disguise, you know, I will at least survive that. But they are going to get a little bit of recovery there. And at this point, they actually helped me out by Terrastalizing into a grass type. Oh, this was actually a huge moment. So I realized that I'm faster than them. So they might be more of a bulky Volcarona or something, or more just invested in special attack. I end up destroying them with the Play Rough because they Terrastalize. So maybe that was a mistake on their part, given that my Shadow Claws were not doing much damage. Obviously, there was the chance that I could critical hit them. Now they go back into their Clodsire, though, and again, this was where I was terrified because I figured that they were Unaware, as Clodsire probably normally is. I mean, sometimes maybe they'll be water absorb, but I think Unaware is just generally better. So I was kind of making the decision here on whether or not I would, you know, go for the Play Rough or go for the Shadow Claw. I just went for the Shadow Claw. Well, obviously Play Rough is resisted, so I wouldn't want to go for that. I went for the Shadow Claw, hoping for a crit. I actually do some decent damage there, but I do not take them out. Obviously, had I gotten lucky and gotten the crit, I would have taken them out, and I would have pretty much won the game right there. But unfortunately, I do not kill them. They go for the Earthquake, and then they get there. And then they get their Black Sludge recovery. So now I go into Goldango, which I thought would be good for me, but the big drawback here is, you know, if I trick them, then I actually get the Black Sludge. So here I go for Make It Rain, and I'm actually going to be able to knock them out. I'm going to outspeed them and knock them out. So, you know, one thing I was also afraid of was them going for the Recover. So that was actually, I think, the moment. I'm pretty sure Clodsire gets Recover, but I think that was the moment there where with my Mimikyu, I was really hoping for that Shadow Claw crit, because otherwise I was expecting them or afraid of them going for the recover, at which point I probably don't think I could have won the game, because, you know, they would have been at higher health, my Shadow Claws wouldn't have been doing enough, and then eventually they would just whittle me down with the Earthquakes. And then I guess if Goldango got a good chunk of damage off either way, I could have won. But either way, that battle ended up going pretty well for me, I would say. It was not looking good for a while, and I was able to turn things around with Mimikyu. If I'm being honest, you know, just kind of a little bit of a review of this team in these two battles and the more testing I've done on Pokemon Showdown, I have not found Mimikyu to be as amazing, personally, as amazing as it's been in previous generations, just because it doesn't hit quite as hard, and I feel like there are so many things in this format with Unaware. There's like at least 3 things that are commonly seen: Skeleturge, Dondozo, and Clodsire, all of which have Unaware, and they're all really bulky. And that makes Mimikyu a decent amount worse than it maybe normally was. I still think it's a solid Pokemon though, so I'm probably still going to keep trying it. But if I'm being honest, the one Pokemon on my team that I would switch out if I could would be Mimikyu. I just need to find out what I want to switch it out for. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this series. I'm really enjoying this format. I'm really enjoying trying out the new Pokemon. And I've been kind of grinding out some raids and stuff so I can get some items to make some more competitive Pokemon. I've also been shiny hunting a lot, so you might see some more shinies make an appearance on my future teams. But let me know if you have any questions or ideas for Pokemon I should use in the future. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, please subscribe for more content like this, more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet guide videos, but also, of course, more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet battles like this one. This was a ton of fun, and I can't wait to do more battles like this and eventually get to Master Ball rank. See you next time.